Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pitch Side Podcast channel. I'm your host, the HOD of the PSP. Like, share, comment on this video. What do you think of the game? Subscribe to the channel, enable notifications to receive all the updates from these match recaps and other content on the channel. Follow us on social media, SouthPSP on Twitter, Pitch Side Pod on Instagram, and you can listen to our podcast tomorrow on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any other platform. And we're coming to you straight after the game between Sevilla and Borussia Dortmund, the round of 16 in the Champions League. By the way, the other game between Porto and Juventus in the Dragao ended 2-1 for Porto, just like I predicted in the app anyway. This game was very, very interesting. I mentioned in the preview that it was defense versus attack as the strongest of the 2 points. I think this game inverted my expectations in a way. Edin Terzic, I probably realised he doesn't have the luxury of having blocking midfielders in his midfield, starting with a lineup that seems overly offensive. But, he decided to defend in numbers and attack in numbers, using the biggest asset that he has in his side, pace. He has a lot of pace against a side like Sevilla, who are really slow comparatively to Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund have so much runners. I mean, Dahoud was willing to run, Emre Can was willing to run, Sancho was so active in the first half in particular, he was running all across the pitch. Erling Haaland, of course, I don't need to mention him. Royce and Bellingham were also helping the runs. Moray and Guerrero were supporting. I mean, Dortmund were defending in numbers, closing down really well, not allowing spaces for Sevilla, who are already static and do not exactly know how to move. In possession, to put it like this, Sevilla only can be comfortable in possession when they are facing a slow side. They cannot face a pacey side when they are on possession, because that pacey side would work so hard. I mean, the first 5 minutes of the game seemed a little bit of a foggy sort of nature. We didn't know exactly what shape both sides are settling in. We didn't know exactly who's going to have more momentum. Sevilla scored the lucky goal overall via deflection from Mats Hummels to score the opener inside 7 minutes. But then, of course, it was the Erling Haaland show. It was the Borussia Dortmund show. Erling Haaland with an assist for the first goal for Dahoud. By the way, brilliant finish. Like, all of a sudden, Sevilla lost their shape and spent the rest of the half trying to cover spaces where Dortmund were running in behind. And Erling Haaland, of course, had 2 goals to his name. Clinical finishes again. 8 goals to his name in the Champions League. He is one of the best players. It's already 18 goals in only 13 Champions League appearances for the guy, and he's 20 years old. I mean, the sky is the limit for him. That seems like a cliche sentence, but it rings really true with Erling Haaland. Sevilla, all of a sudden, as I mentioned, lost their shape. They started being pulled by Erling Haaland, by the runners. I mean, they played some sort of man marking with the likes of Royce, Sancho, and Haaland, which doesn't really work. Jules Koundé and Diego Carlos in particular, was pulled off way too much in the first goal, giving space for Dahoud to run into, and the finish, of course, that curler into the goal. No goalkeeper would save that. It was pacey, it was in the right corner, and it was incredible. The second finish, I mean, it was a bit scruffy, but of course it's all about the positioning, the way he read the game, the first touch into the net straight away, and then the third goal, of course, losing the ball high up the pitch, Sevilla, getting caught on the counter, getting caught behind their centre-halves and behind their midfield, who were really static today against these Dortmund runners, all young, energetic and vibrant, and Erling Haaland, of course, clinical finish, he knows where the net is, first touch straight away, finishing into the bottom corner. 3-1 it was for Dortmund at the first half, and Edin Terzic realised, well, just as I mentioned, he doesn't have the luxury of the likes of Witsel or Delaney in his midfield to play a proper blocking side and play a proper possession game. He left the possession to Sevilla, which for the most part in the second half didn't do anything with it, and Borussia Dortmund didn't do a lot really in terms of counter-attacking in the second half, but they were really happy to sit deep, and for the most part it worked. It didn't allow Sevilla a lot of room to work into, they didn't get a lot of chances, and Julian Lopetegui threw all his offensive assets that he has, the likes of Oliver Torres, he threw De Jong in, he threw Munir Haddadi in, and he was looking for that equaliser and looking for the comeback really. And, again, the defensive sort of plan for Edin Terzic almost worked until the end. Luuk De Jong scored a second goal for Sevilla in the 84th minute, and there was a late surge from Sevilla that was, pretty dangerous in a moment for Borussia Dortmund, because they are not a side that is built to sit that deep and built to defend, and the lineup certainly didn't help in that, and they almost got a little bit shaky and off their feet in the last few moments, but fortunately for them, Sevilla weren't as effective as one might expect. 3-2 it ended for Dortmund away from home. I mean, Luuk De Jong's goal probably gives a silver lining for Sevilla, and that is going to mess a lot with the plan for Edin Terzic in that second game, because at 3-1, you know what you're going to do. Mostly going to be sitting deep for the first 20 to 25 minutes, maybe absorb the pressure from Sevilla because they will try and grab an early goal and then manage the game from there. But from here, probably it would be more Sevilla trying to defend Dortmund from scoring a decisive goal in that tie, and then catching Dortmund on the counter, because Dortmund themselves do not have exactly the best of defensive organizations. Still, overall, I think a much deserved victory for Dortmund. The scoreline doesn't tell the whole story. It was a brilliant defensive game for Dortmund for the most part, but Sevilla caught them on the set-piece defending, something that Dortmund aren't exactly excellent at. They seem so stagnant in set-piece defending. Luuk De Jong scored the goal and gave Sevilla a lifeline into the second leg. That's it from me, the HOD of the PSP for this game. Follow us on social media, site PSP on Twitter, page, site, on Instagram. Most importantly, like, share this video, comment what you think of the game, what you think of Erling Haaland, what you think of Sevilla's and Dortmund's chances to go through, and subscribe to the channel, enable notifications to receive all the updates, and follow us on social media. Listen to the podcast tomorrow on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any other platform. Until the next time, I'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye.